So you can see Mrs. Shimkowski teaches both language arts and social studies, and Mrs. Cox teaches both math and science. Likewise for Mrs. Amato, that's Mrs. Bridget Amato, and Ms. Bianco. So if you have your schedule, I know that sometimes they can be tricky to read, so to help you kind of break it down and understand, first, all students in the middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, their block 1, which would appear as the first line in most cases, in nearly all cases on the schedule, that is also their homeroom. We start our day in our homeroom, but our homeroom is also our block 1. So if it doesn't have a line, which the schedules are not designed to read a line of homeroom because there's nothing assigned grade-wise for that. So if you're thinking you're missing a homeroom, you're not. It is just your block 1. So in 6th grade, your block 1 starts your day. You have 80 minutes of instruction. Then you move on to your block 2, and you have 10 minutes, typically to get organized, set out homework, meet and greet with the teacher, and then you go off to your 2 specials. Now the 2 specials, there are 2 on day A and 2 on day B. So we only have 2 letters, A and B, so 2 day A, and they go back to back. So special 1 day A and special 2 day A, and then it switches on day B. After they go back to back to their specials, they come back to block 2 and have the remaining 70 minutes. Then they go to lunch. Students, it's a little bit later than last year, but they go to lunch at 12:25. It starts at 12:28. After lunch, they come up for the full block 3, and then everyone in the middle school, the last 20-ish minutes are our activity period. So that's the flow of the day. You'll see in most of your schedules, and if you have any questions about schedules, you can come see any of us, but it typically goes in order of block 1. Block 2 might be listed. If it's not, it might be your 2 specials for day A. And then block 2 and 3 are listed, and then day B specials are usually listed at the bottom. Again, we'll work with you one by one, but please also know that the 6th grade team is phenomenal. They make graphic organizers for the students. They help them pull everything out from that hieroglyphic schedule and put it into a kid-friendly schedule. They also walk the students to the classes for about the first 2 weeks of school. So kids do not have to navigate how to get to their specials, when to get to their specials, where their specials are. The teachers are well equipped and prepared to get them there. So even if you're still not sure, or even if you ask and you're still not sure how to help your child understand, please know that the teachers do not jump into block 1 academic class and teach. They go through significantly in 6th grade how to navigate the middle school. They take tours in the morning, they visit the classes, so they will be instructed how to get there.
So for our incoming new 7th graders, we wanted to make sure if you are here with us this evening, you got to see kind of what your schedule looks like. It's a little different than 6th grade, where they start right after homeroom going into their specials. Again, same day A, day B, but those first 2 specials happen the first 2 periods of the day. Then they begin their block 1, 80 minutes of instruction. Then they transition into their block 2, which is split in almost in, there's a little bit, yeah, kind of in half almost, but they go to lunch. Then they come back to their block 2, finish their block 2, and head to an 80-minute block 3. Following block 3, they have their activity period and dismissal.
And anyone incoming for 8th grade, their schedule, like I said, is slightly different because they do carry 4 cores as a transition year to high school. So they start in homeroom, their homeroom matches their core 1, and all of their cores are 60 minutes. So it's core 1, core 2, core 3. They go to lunch, come back for core 4, and then they finish their day and their specials. They also have day A and day B, 2 specials each day, and then they come back for activity period. Activity period is held in homerooms, and it's used for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it is if you've been absent and you need to get materials or catch up. Sometimes you're a part of a club or working with a teacher on a special project and you visit them. Sometimes you're going for some reinforcement and tutoring. So it's used for a variety of reasons. Some students have a lot of extracurriculars and they just work on homework so that they have more time at home.
The tip for the students in the room is take advantage of activity period. That time is designed and built in there for you. So that time should not be stare at the wall for 20-something minutes. Take advantage of that time. whether it's working with a peer on mentoring, tutoring, working with an adult, everything that Ms. Deichler had listed.
Okay, so arrival for middle school, since it's a new building for nearly all of you, just so you know, the bus transportation is dropped off in the rear of the building, and they're just dropped off, and we have adults monitoring as they enter and travel up. 6th and 7th graders report to the auditorium before they're released to homeroom, and we designate spaces for them to sit separately. 8th graders head to the food court. They don't come up to the auditorium, and anyone who is choosing to eat breakfast also goes to the food court instead of coming up to the auditorium if they're in 6th and 7th grade. Parent drop-off is in the front of the building, and as you pull up, and we always ask to remind you just to keep that traffic flowing at the front of the building. And you'll probably learn soon that there are a lot of morning offerings for tutoring with teachers, and sometimes it can be a busy parent drop-off traffic line in the front. Dismissal, our parent guardian pickups are dismissed first, and you do need to come into the building and sign out with your license or ID with Mrs. Koliakovo. Students who ride buses home are dismissed in the rear of the building. We like to get all parent and guardian pickups off campus before we have the students heading to their buses in the back and releasing the buses. Buses line up in 2 parallel lines. We don't do bus rooms, we don't call buses. We call 7th and 8th graders, release to their buses. We call 6th graders, release them to their buses, and the buses are in the same position every day. So the students just become familiar with where the bus is sitting, and then they just go to that location. If a bus has some, traffic hold up and they're not in the same position, we have adults out there that let them know it's in the back of the line today, and we prepare them for that. So I've been monitoring. I don't think we have any questions that came in, so we're going to say if you have questions and they're on an individual basis, Mr. Maurer and myself will be up here happy to answer them. We thank you for your time. We cannot wait for next Tuesday. It is the happiest time that we start our year with our students, and it is what brings us to work each day to spend the time with your adolescent as they go through these years. We just remind you, don't forget to communicate with us proactively. If something is going on and it might impact their educational career, please let us know. You're welcome to walk around the building, and also we have a screen printing shop in our middle school, and if you want to make a Pride t-shirt, you're welcome to do so by going upstairs to A322 and print your own shirt. Thank you for coming this evening.